Morning coffee testing. This one's from Bolivia, this one's from the Dominican Republic, and a honey processed coffee. We'll get into that. It's not what you think. Not today, anyway. Dominican Republic, Bolivia, Ethiopia. I don't think you can see it. I'll try to zoom in, or maybe when we get... Probably won't be there when we get back, but anyway. We're gonna head out this morning for a beach walk. And just so you know when I showed you earlier those 3 coffees, I don't drink all of those 3 coffees. I'm testing them. Otherwise, I'd be kind of like somebody on speed or drugs or something. So I smell them, I test it, I taste it, I let it cool, I taste it again. But no, if I had, because that was actually, I had an iced coffee and those 3, that would be 4 coffees this morning. Oh my God. And they're all light roasted with higher caffeine. Oh boy, I'd be bouncing for a week. So we have a piece of land up north for sale, and part of any purchasing of property and all that kind of stuff is that, it's not a big deal, but you have to have a thing when you buy property here that you've registered it with the Bahamas Investment Authority. Now, we bought that land years ago and, thought everything had been done. But it hadn't been done. It hadn't been registered with BIA. So now we got to run around and get police records, copy of passports, there's just some characters over there. Real characters.
Character references from a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, puppies. Look at all the puppies.
And what else do we have to get?
Copies of our passports, police record, bank record.
Bank saying we're,
Yep.
Okay. And of course, we have a bank in the U.S. and we could just have them write it and send it down, but no, it has to be on the official. It can't be a copy of the official letter from the bank. So we're going to the bank and hopefully we'll get that done and then go get the police report. Well, we won't get the police report. We'll end up with...
having to go back.
Yeah, having to go back in a couple days. But that's part of this afternoon's fun. Royal Bank of Canada here, where we have an account, and wanted to get, the letter of reference to say I'm in good standing with the bank and all that kind of hoo-ha. And lo and behold, they can do that. It takes 3 to 4 days, and there's a fee of $29 to say that I'm a good banking customer. For $29, they should say whatever I tell them to say. But so next is police, and then I think they're only $5 or $10 to get a police report. So that's less. So, police report. We get in there, and they were like, okay, well, you need your national insurance card, you're this, you're that, you're da 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 da. And I'm like, no. All I need is my passport for you to give me a police record. No, the rules have changed. And I finally go back and forth, and I'm like, no, I am not a Bahamian. I am an American, so I just need a police report for blah, blah, blah. Finally, how long did that take? Half hour? Mm-hmm. Yeah, half hour. And it's like, okay, so it's going to take about a week to get a police report.
That would be $20, please.
Like, oh my God. How anything gets done here.
Now, even though you live in Eleuthera, they have to send it off to Nassau,
right,
which Nassau knows nothing about us and our police record.
Right, so they're going to put it through probably Interpol and all that kind of stuff. And then they'll send it back on a plane, boat.
Courier service.
Well, I was thinking more like a floating coconut tree or something. And then it'll be a week and a half before we get that.
But on a good note, she said she knows where we live.
It's actually one of our neighbors works at the police station, so it's like, we should have made it so we didn't have to do all that nonsense, except there were other supervisors around. So hopefully all of this gets done next week, and then I got somebody who's actually going to talk to tomorrow that's considering buying the land. So we'll have to wait and see how that one goes. Not super optimistic on that one, but hey, never can tell. Now, I have to say, the bureaucracy here, you know, you would think it's bad, it's terrible, it's nonsense, it's garbage, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, we're going to be building a new home on our land, not somebody else's land, in Vermont, late spring, early summer kind of thing. So we downloaded all the things you need to get, forms and all that kind of stuff, to do the building permit. And they do it, the meeting is once a month. You have to notify all the abutters to your property with a letter telling them that you plan on building a house on your land. Makes sense to me, right? Because if they want to object, no, we don't want him building a house on his land. Anyway, that's the second Wednesday of every month. And so we're going back in March. That's not going to work. So that means potentially I've got to fly back again in April to do this. Or May. To get that done. And then you have to have it, what is it, posted for 30 days so that if somebody has an objection, and I'm like, what kind of nonsense is this? Yes, if I'm building a factory or you know, something like that, I'm building a house on my land. I don't know, the bureaucracy of the world, it's a wonder. You know, it's just nonsense after nonsense after nonsense. Is it a way that, you know, it supports, justifies jobs? I don't know. I really don't know what it is. But it's nonsense. You know, I can fully understand. Yes, I want to build a munitions factory on my land. Ooh, well, that's something that, you know, people might object to. But building a house on your own land. So anyway, you know, unfortunately, bureaucracy is the world around, I guess. You know, it is what it is, and you can complain about it and say, it's stupid, it's this, it's that, but you got to do what they need to do, otherwise you don't get to do it. So, you know, day and age of communication. Remember I was telling you all about that, all this nonsense with the town and blah, blah, blah. So Sid was, to get our building permit, Sid wrote to the people in town, people we know, and said, what do we need? Who do we have to notify? Da, 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 da. And so the lady wrote back and told us the names. And then she just wrote back and said, wait a minute, you're not subdividing the land. This is your land. And no, all you got to do is fill out the building permit, send it in. You don't even have to be here. Yay! So that was very exciting. No nonsense with building permits and all that stuff. I couldn't see it, but anyway. So today was the day, the first time I've ever had this experience. I bought a coffee from the Dominican Republic, and it's a organic coffee, and it's called honey processed. And without getting too much into it, the honey process is sort of in between. There's washed, honey process, and natural. And the honey process is sort of an in-between, with part of the fruit of the cherry still on. It ferments, then it gets washed, all that kind of stuff. Short story is, I had this morning. You know, that was one of those cups from earlier today. And it was like, I had to do it a couple times. Blueberry, right there. I could taste blueberry. And Sid did a couple times, but she lost it most of the time. She's, I don't know, we gotta get a new tester. Her taste buds are bad or something, I don't know. Yeah, completely different. She didn't get blueberry. And I had it, you know, when it was warm. I had it when it was cold. And I even had it this afternoon. And it was like, it was still a strong, and look, I've had coffees in between all day long. It's still a strong blueberry taste. So I thought that was pretty incredible just to have a coffee that had that blueberry taste. Now, not everybody's gonna like that. But the other part of that is that I'm hoping a lot of people like that, because see, the Dominican Republic is like south of here, and going back to the US and roasting coffee, I probably would have to take a good number of business trips every year to visit the farmer who's making this, you know, make sure quality control and all that. And of course, while we're there, we might go to the beach and snorkel and stuff like that too. But it was really cool that I've never had a coffee that had a taste like that. So I don't know if it's unique to the Dominican Republic or whether it's part of the honey process. I don't know, but it was pretty cool. Now, I've shown you this before, but this is a key thing. This is a Colombian coffee, and I just roasted 8 ounces of coffee. And in that 8 ounces, I just ate one. There were 8 Quakers. Now, if you don't roast coffee, you probably won't do that. But I just tried one of these to see what it tasted like. And it's sort of like, the best I could describe is like old stale hard cereal type thing. And they're immature beans. And the problem's gonna be is that, okay, this was 8 of those in 8 ounces. How many of these are you gonna get in a 132-pound bag? Now remember, just one of these ground up will mess up the coffee taste. So it's not looking real good for this Colombian one, even though it's a micro lot and everything was supposedly good. And that's one of the things I have to do, is look through everything and say, okay, is this going to be a coffee I want to have as a staple item? Right now, I'd say this one, no.